What is going on YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you the finals of the most recent RMC locals. This is going to be between myself on the left playing the blue hybrid, and then on the right we're going to be having the red hybrid with the ancient Greymon package. Now this is a deck that can be very aggressive in this matchup, and probably the deck that I'm the most scared of as blue hybrid, because this deck can just pop off for crazy amounts of checks very early and make it very hard to come back or really just stabilize, because once they get you down to 0 security they're going to be able to play down the Takuya, which will give you access to the Emperor Greymon Blitz, and if you have no security it'll just take you out there, so have to be very careful with that. And I didn't hit a rookie turn 1, I just went in with the Tommy, so now I'm trying to think about what I'm gonna have to do here. My opponent's playing a couple Flamemon to searching a more Flamemon, so we were joking about how this is just Flamemon Turbo, so I'm gonna go ahead and go onto Kumamon and then go into Beowulf, so that way I can get some cycle going, as well as just get a better presence on the board. I am going to Hammer Spark up and go into the Azulong, and then I'm gonna go to 4, and then I'll gain 2 with the Flamemons. I could have attacked there and swung in, but I wanted to get some presence on the board. Putting the Azulong on there makes it really tough for my opponent, especially when they swing right here and then hit Tommy and Davis. So both of their Digimon are living, and if this Azulong stays, I'm going to have security attack +2 going into my next turn, and I will be able to match my opponent's aggression. But if my opponent does just Digivolve on top of the Flamemon, I will lose that, and so it might be worth it to just go ahead and play some champions out here, potentially these Agunis or some Burning Greymon. So they are going to go ahead and go up with the Aguni. Thinking about what they want to do now, they do decide to go with the Gaia Force. Now that's not a card that I really expected them to be playing, and so I didn't play around that at all, and did unfortunately lose my Azulong there. So now I'm gonna have to just go in with the Beowulf. I will be able to swing in, return the Korikaku to my hand to return the Aguni, and then I will be able to stun the Flamemon and leave that chill in there. But I do hit the Ancient Greymon unfortunately, which means I am gonna go down, but I will be able to play the Sorajo into the Tommy to get a couple of Tamers on the board, and also set up the Tommy, so next turn I could Digivolve that Korikaku back on top of it and be able to start stunning some more things. But my opponent's gonna go ahead, and they have the Ancient Greymon. Gonna swing in for the 3 checks to clear out my final 3. 2 Bokomon and a Korikaku isn't gonna do much, but the Ancient Greymon will go down, and they're gonna be able to play out another hybrid from their hand. They do decide to play the Flamemon to search the top 3, and they do hit the Takuya, and that's all they really needed. That's one of the cards that's the most important for them to get on the board, because I can stun all of their Digimon that's on the board, but I can't stun their Tamers, and like I mentioned earlier with the Emperor, it's a very key part of this whole puzzle. So gonna go up and stun both the Flamemon on the board right now, so that they're not able to go in for game next turn, and just kind of be safe, because my opponent has no Digimon on the board that will actually be able to attack, and that's going to put me in a position to where I can't actually go down next turn, and that give me one more turn to start to try and get something going. At this point I do have a plan of action on how I can potentially win this game, and playing the Howling Memory Boost to have the extra memory for next turn is going to be a big part of it. So my opponent's going to play out the tie that's going to put me to 5. Now I'm going to swing. This is a very big swing. I need my Korikaku to go down, and it does go down, which is very big, because now I'm going to have 9 hybrids or tamers in my trash. So I'm going to be able to go up into Susanomon for 7 by putting those 9 plus 1 more in my hand to the bottom of the deck. And when Digivolving, I'll be able to pop a Flamemon, and then I'll be able to swing for the remaining 3 checks. Gonna hit Atomic Furno, Tai, and Flamemon, but then gonna be able to go with the Siako for game. So that was a very close match. I was falling a little bit far behind because they were getting so aggressive, but able to come back and take all 4 security plus swing in just 1 turn. But if my Korikaku didn't go down, I would have been in quite a bit of trouble. I don't think I would have been able to probably win that game, because my opponent just had way too much time. They were going to be able to hatch and Digivolve that next turn and then promote, going for game. But Susano able to come in thanks to all those hybrids and tamers that I did see. Now going into game 2, my opponent did go first because they want to get that extra aggression. They're going to play out the Boko, and I'm going to go ahead and respond with my own Boko to go ahead and grab Davis and Beowulf there. I was thinking about if I wanted to grab the Tommy, but I decided to go ahead and grab the Davis because I already have one of the Tommys in my hand, and I figured I'd rather have the memory gain later from the Davis than have a second Tommy. And I'm just going to go ahead and play out the Tommy now, so I can set up for a Kumamon or Korikakumon next turn to be able to stun, especially with the Bokomon being able to gain me some extra memory. But if my opponent goes into something like the Burning Greymon or an Atomic Blaster, my Bokomon will go down. So they do go into the Burning Greymon, but that does put me to 3, so I can put my opponent to 1. So as unfortunate as it is that they got rid of my Bokomon and I can't get that memory gain, at least I can now choke them with the Davis, get a rookie to be able to put in Raising next turn, and prevent myself from going any less than 3 for the remainder of the game. My opponent's going to go with the Atomic Inferno, going to be swinging 2 checks. Did hit the Hammer Spark there, so it is going to pass over to my turn at 3 thanks to the Davis. Now my opponent didn't promote their Flame Flamemon last turn, which means that all they really got to do was the 2 checks, and that was all the development that they really made that turn. I'm not 100% sure why they didn't bring out the Flamemon. Maybe they just didn't want to have another Digimon on the board that could potentially give me extra memory, or I could just strip the stores and stun, so they might be just wanting to build up and raising right there. But interestingly enough, they did leave it in the back. And now going into my turn, I am pretty happy about that because that slows down the aggression that my opponent's going to have, and I'm going to be able to play out a Madoki here, which does shut down things like the Gravity Crush, while also just presenting me with another body on the board to start swinging in, because with a matchup like this, I do need to kind of match their aggression and make it so that way I can start to swing in before they can take me down, and I don't have to rely on Susanomon like I did that first game. But going into my turn, I'm going to be able to promote here. I'm going to be considering to Digivolve up because I kind of want to be choking my opponents and stunning them with the Korikaku. So I'm going to go ahead and swing with the Kendo to bounce back the Boko, really hoping that this does survive so that way I can Digivolve for 1 into the Korikaku to stun the Burning Greymon. If that did go down, I would have been able to go with a backup plan of potentially that Ice Wall to put them at 1, but I did want to try and choke them as little as possible while also just stunning that Burning Greymon so it's not getting any crazy checks and not going into the Aldemon. Another Atomic Inferno gonna come in, gonna swing in with the Flamemon, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit 2 Tamers right there with the starter deck mat and the Tommy, which is gonna be able to strip the bottom. Now with that mat live and 2 Digimon on the board with no sources at 0, that means pretty much no matter what, I'm gonna be gaining that mat memory on top of the Davis. And my opponent's just gonna play that Pokemon back out that I bounced to see what they can hit. No Tamers, but they do hit a lot of options that they can grab as far as Digimon wise. But unfortunately for my opponent, thanks to that mat coming out of security, they are going to be in a position to where they need Atomic Blaster and security to not lose this game, because I'm going to be able to just unsuspend. I will be able to swing in with both my Digimon. If they both survive, that means I will have the 4 memory to go into 2 hybrids to go for game. So I swing my Korikaku in. It doesn't hit Atomic Blaster, which I know means that the game is over. Going to be able to Digivolve for 2 and then Digivolve into the Kumamon for 2 and be able to take this final. Now I'm pretty happy with being able to win this match just because the red hybrid is the deck that I was the most worried about. It's the one that's been able to take the most games off of me, and I haven't really been able to find a way to really gain an advantage without having just cracked security. But with that said, I was able to have some pretty good security that was able to come through and give me the Tamers that I needed to win. But good games to my opponent. That deck is just super nasty. If they get it off and they're able to take out my security checks, they can just win. That first game was so close to them getting it, but Susano was able to come in and clutch it out for me. But if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe because I'm going to be bringing you even more BT7 content, and I'll catch you all next time. I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.